Halloween just days away. State budget cuts may affect your kids' safety. The money crunch could have your child face-to-face with a sex offender.
Nearly everyone is hurting in today's economy, but one business is expanding. It might surprise you to learn which one and how they're doing it.
And people are early voting in droves, but are they record numbers? We'll take a look.
This is Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 6 in high definition.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Every year for Halloween, Operation Scarecrow is launched to make sure that your kids are safe from registered sex offenders.
Those offenders have rules to follow when it comes to trick-or-treaters, but now budget restraints may keep agents with parole and probation from checking up on all those offenders. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Melissa Duran explains.
Sex offenders who are used to getting a Halloween visit from their probation officers might not get a knock on their door this year.
I understand what the budget restraints are, but public safety is not something that should be cut.
Ron Cuzzy, president of the State Law Enforcement Officers Union, says because Halloween falls on Nevada Day, a recognized state holiday, they can't afford to pay their officers double time and a half. Their traditional Operation Scarecrow, which makes sure sex offenders aren't luring kids into their homes with Halloween decorations and candy, has been moved up a day to avoid paying an additional $30,000. Because he says it might not be as effective on a day other than Halloween.
A couple of years ago, parole and probation made arrests of the people on their sex offender list for having children in or around their homes when they knew that they were not allowed to do that in accordance with their special conditions of parole.
To ensure children's safety, parole and probation has teamed up with Metro Police and federal authorities to make sure sex offenders are still in compliance on Halloween night. Because he says it's a bad feeling knowing you don't have the money to do what you need to do. Melissa Duran, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Parole and probation returned our calls late this afternoon, saying they have recrunched their budget numbers. They've now found some money to put a few officers out Halloween night for a smaller version of Operation Scarecrow.
Some good news on the financial front today. The Dow closed up nearly 900 points. Analysts say some investors were buying to prepare for an expected Federal Reserve cut that they believe will happen tomorrow. Others say this is just part of the roller coaster after the Dow fell more than 500 points in the last 2 trading days. As the economy struggles to right itself, some feel Nevada and other parts of the Intermountain West will help lead the way. A report by the Brookings Institute found the booming growth in the area has it on pace to become the new heartland of America. The one problem discussed at a meeting of local and state leaders today was creating new policies to make sure money in this state is used wisely to deal with that growth. For one local company, business is booming, so much so they're expanding. With high gas prices set people looking for cheaper ways to fill the tank. Harley-Davidson sales allowed the local dealer to open a whole new dealership. Channel 8 Eyewitness News is live. Alyson McCarthy joins us, though, from near Maryland Parkway and Twain, where the sign of the times is on the wall. Allie?
Yeah, literally, Gary. Signs like this banner behind me, store closing on Dillard's, as you can see here, becoming a lot more common all around the valley these days. But then there are some companies which aren't just surviving, they're thriving.
A bike like this probably gets 45 to 48 miles per gallon.
Southern Nevada Harley-Davidson just opened a brand new showroom today. Its second location in Las Vegas, locally owned and operated. The new Red Rock Harley-Davidson on Rainbow near Sahara had already sold 3 new motorcycles before noon on its first official day of business. But most companies, especially our smaller businesses, are not faring as well. A recent survey by the National SBA shows 70% of all small businesses say our nation's credit crunch has already adversely affected them.
Now there are a lot of other challenges. Customers don't have the disposable income to spend. Banks and other lending sources dry up pretty quickly.
I don't have any good data sources.
And statistics show the credit crunch has already had a more adverse effect here in Southern Nevada than in most other parts of the country. According to the Small Business Administration, the volume of SBA loans decreased by 30% nationwide during the last fiscal year that just ended. Here in Southern Nevada, small business loans were down even more, 35%. So what does this mean? Well, without that access to affordable financing or credit, that means businesses cannot start up, they cannot expand, hand, and they cannot survive if they need to refinance their debt. Live near Maryland Parkway in Twain, I'm Alyson McCarthy, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Allie, thank you very much. While Harley is expanding, Ford took another big hit today. Billionaire investor Kirk Kerkorian sold millions of dollars worth of Ford stock. Kerkorian sold nearly 5% of his stock in the #2 U.S. automaker, and he is considering selling his remaining stake in the company. Kerkorian also owns 55% of MGM Mirage stock. That company will announce its third quarter results tomorrow.
State lawmakers are already planning for next February's session. With Nevada facing hundreds of millions of dollars in budget cuts, lawmakers say they can't afford to wait to deliberate how to fund critical state services. Starting next month, the Interim Finance Committee will start meeting to hear the latest budget projections and review cut recommendations. Election officials expect the number of people voting early to increase over the next 3 days. Already a record number of people have shown up to cast their ballot in early voting. 241,000 people have voted so far. To find a location near you, go to LasVegasNow.com, keyword vote.
Well, with the record number of people voting, there is no doubt people are passionate about this election. Up next, the I-Team's political analyst will join us with what the most recent polls are showing about Nevada voters. And did we set a record for heat in the valley today? Coming up, Gina will have the answer and tell us when we can expect a cool down.
Digital TV is coming. Be ready. Visit LasVegasNow.com for details. This portion of Eyewitness News in HD is brought to you by Southern Nevada Health District.
One new poll shows that if the election was held today, Nevada would go blue for Senator Barack Obama.
A Suffolk University poll also found the big issues for voters are the economy and jobs. I-Team political analyst Jon Ralston is here now. What did the poll say?
Well, this is one of many polls that's out now, Gary and Paula, saying essentially that Barack Obama would win Nevada if the election were held today. The Suffolk University poll, which has been accurate in the past and not accurate in the past like most polls, showed him with a 10-point lead, 50-40 here in Nevada. That's bigger than most polls. Another poll actually came out after that one today by Rasmussen that showed only a 4-point lead. That's probably closer to what most polls are showing now. But the point is that John McCain had a couple points lead until a few weeks ago. Now every single poll is showing Obama with a lead here in the state.
You looked into the Hispanic vote today.
That's going to be a huge part of the vote here. You know, we have this exploding Hispanic population. We had a couple of people on from the campaigns talking about whether or not their guy was going to get the Hispanic vote. They didn't agree. Take a look.
Barack Obama has invested more in Latino outreach than any candidate in history, whether it's media buying dollars on Univision station there, or whether it's paying Hispanic operatives to go out and work in the communities. I mean, this has been a historic election, and Barack Obama has certainly shown his sincerity.
He didn't show his sincerity in his times when he was in Illinois. He represented 2 million Hispanics in Illinois, yet never did one bill in favor of the Hispanics in Illinois.
That was then. This is now.
He hasn't done anything now.
It's interesting, though, despite Fernando Romero there talking about McCain's appeal to Hispanics, all of the polling, including the polling here, shows Barack Obama has about a 2-to-1 plus lead with the Hispanic voters.
Now, unfortunately, we don't get the results of early voting, but we do know how people are registered. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. We should start having them reveal who they're actually voting for, too.
Only channeling.
These numbers are really, really daunting for the Republicans, especially if you compare it to what happened in 2004. You mentioned how many people have already voted. By the time Friday comes along, more than half the people probably in Clark County will have already cast ballots at early voting or by absentee. The Democrats are absolutely swamping the Republicans. They're winning by about 20 points. If you combine the totals with Washoe County, which remember used to be Republican, is now voting almost in greater numbers for Democrats. Now, not every Democrat's voting for Barack Obama, but if it's even close to what the national polls are showing, it's 80 or 90%. Very ominous, I think, for the Republicans here.
Thank you, John.
You bet.
You can watch John's show face-to-face on our sister cable station, Las Vegas 1, Cox Cable Channel 19.
The state's only transplant program in jeopardy. Find out how Nevada's congressional delegation hopes to save UMC's kidney transplant program next.
You're watching Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 6 with Gary Waddell and Paula Francis. The first local news in HD.
Nevada's congressional delegation is asking Medicare and Medicaid reconsider their decision to revoke UMC's kidney transplant program. They say UMC has made improvements to every deficiency brought to their attention, and the only standard they couldn't meet was out of their control: one death by suicide. The program is currently set to close December 3rd.
Neighborhood weather with Gina Cancelliere.
It was another hot day here in the valley. Hot and sunny, and really not much of a breeze out there. Here's a look from Del Webb Middle School throughout the day today. Kids playing, buses coming in, going out, but in general, dry conditions, beautiful conditions, just hot weather. Here you see it calm right now at Anthem with a current temperature of 80 degrees after hitting a high temperature in the mid-80s today and bottoming out at 61 last night. We had a wind gust here of 11 miles per hour. Sloan and Sahara, another spot where it's hot, 80 degrees right now. Calm conditions here, hitting a high temperature of 92 degrees today, bottoming out last night in the mid-50s. So we're staying warm during the days and during the nights and all the way around. It's just warm. Here's a look at the current numbers right now. Mountain Vista still 83 degrees. El Dorado 84. East Washington 81. College in 95 right now, 78 degrees. Even the Red Rock Visitor Center hanging on to the 70s at this hour at 71. Death Valley right now 86 degrees. Mount Charleston 53. Lake Mead 75. 75 is the average high temperature for this time of year. And as you know, the sun's already going down, it's getting dark, and we're still staying warm. High temperature officially today at McCarran International Airport. It was a hot one, 88 degrees here. Phoenix hit the 93-degree mark. LA hit 83 degrees. San Francisco 65. Salt Lake City 71. Albuquerque 71. We are all under the influence of high pressure right now. Perhaps you noticed a few high-level clouds moving through maybe late last night, early this morning. They're all gone. That was one weather system that rode off to our north. Now high pressure is sitting here, and high pressure will allow for another hot day tomorrow. Here's a look at the record heat over the past couple of days. The record still stands from the 27th at 92. That was back from 1937. The record still stands today. 91 was the official high temperature, the record high temperature for the state. That happened in 1937. Okay, for tomorrow, the record is 90 degrees. That happened in 1950. I'm forecasting a high temperature tomorrow of 90 degrees. So we may tie the record. It will be another hot day with a lot of sunshine, maybe a cloud or two. Then by Thursday, ooh, look, 88 is the forecast high. A little cooler. Then by Halloween, the breeze will pick up, slightly cooler weather then. That will carry us through the upcoming weekend. And then we could have a pretty decent storm moving through here Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. And then please remember this too. We fall back Saturday into Sunday. So before you go to bed Saturday night, move your clocks back 1 hour. Time to fall back.
Thanks, Gina.
You're welcome.
Chris is here with sports.
And some baseball to talk about. That's not happening or not. Exactly. There'll be no baseball tonight as Mother Nature throws a wrench into the plans in Philly. Plus, bull riders have arrived in Las Vegas. They're getting set for their big Super Bowl. More coming up next here on Channel 8. All right, welcome back. Players and managers, like it or not, Monday's World Series Game 5 suspended in the 6th, the score tied at 2. They were going to try to finish the 3.5 innings today, but weather forced officials to postpone the game until tomorrow, so the Phillies are now 3.5 innings away from clinching the crown. A few days ago, Arizona Colt Lute Olson announced he was retiring. Now we know what had prompted that sudden decision. He was advised by his doctor after suffering from a stroke earlier this year.
In the frontal part of his brain, which has resulted in some severe depression as well as some changes in judgment, which in retrospect have probably been here for several months.
Well, the PBR National Finals roll into Las Vegas for the next 2 weekends. A couple of brave bull riders are ready for the challenge of riding the rankest bulls on earth.
Some of these bulls may have an off day just like any athlete would, but even that off day is going to be tough.
It's fun. It's fun to do. I know that sounds crazy to some people, but you know, whenever it feels really good, you don't want to get off of them.
If you ask the bull rider, they don't count being knocked out or stitches. We just count the broken stuff. So.
All right. Hey, the first round of the PBR coming up Friday night at the Thomas and Mack. Rebels get TCU this weekend. The 12th-ranked Horned Frogs are fast. In fact, could be the quickest team UNLV plays this season.
We watched them on film, and you know, they're really fast, and they got 2 or 3 good running backs, kind of like SC, and you know, they're going to be rotating them through and keeping them fresh. So you know, we're going to have our running legs with us this week, chase them down.
Right, TCU is the only team in the Mountain West that UNLV has never beaten. The most points UNLV has been able to score against the Frogs, 10. We'll see if that changes on Saturday. Well, the last time I saw NFL quarterback Dante Culpepper, he was shopping at Dillard's inside the Fashion Show Mall. Now he's been spotted in Detroit speaking with Lions officials. Could he be back on the field? Perhaps. Maybe he's going to play some football instead of shopping at Dillard's. We'll find out.
Or he can afford to shop at Dillard's.
Thanks, Chris.
We'll be right back. Till the election, Channel 8 is providing free airtime to qualified candidates in the races for Congress and state office. You'll hear directly from the candidates in unedited statements. Here are tonight's.
I'm Jon Porter. As a small business owner, I understand the economic challenges Nevadans face. In Congress, I passed legislation to extend unemployment benefits during these hard times. To bring jobs back, we have to reduce the price at the pump by pursuing an all-of-the-above approach, including conservation, renewable energy, and domestic drilling. When the cost of energy goes down, tourism will return to Nevada, and with it jobs for the gaming industry, construction, and small businesses around my district. An emerging renewable energy industry in southern Nevada is proving to be the next frontier of job creation. I've supported tax credits to make sure that projects like Solar One prosper throughout our community. I introduced legislation that will expedite the hundreds of renewable power applications from businesses eager to bring jobs here. Nevada has embraced the next generation of jobs, and the government has to remove bureaucratic barricades that will impede growth.
Hello, I'm Dina Titus. Nevada's economy is facing its greatest challenges in more than 20 years. Families are finding it hard to make ends meet as unemployment soars and gas prices are stretching budgets to their breaking point. In order to get Nevada back on track, I have a plan to create jobs and diversify our economy. My plan invests in Nevada's abundant renewable energy, creates a workforce with the skills to fill the jobs of a changing economy, and facilitates university research targeted to new technologies. Renewable energy companies are lined up and waiting to come to Nevada to take advantage of our solar, wind, and geothermal power. And by providing the incentives they need, we can create good jobs in both the renewable energy industry and construction sectors immediately. By retooling job training programs in the critical energy, teaching, and nursing fields, we will prepare workers for the new jobs that will jumpstart our economy.
The huge Echelon project on the Strip is sitting still right now, and it could be quiet for a lot longer than originally thought. See what we found out about the future of that resort. Plus, there's more to early voting than just casting your ballot. It could also be a way to keep the economy moving. Those stories and any late-breaking news at 11.
What? Oh, okay. I'll be there.
Good.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 6. Don't forget, we're always out there on the internet at LasVegasNow.com.
Have a great evening.